Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan. This 10-minute moan is actually making me feel sick inside. This 10-minute moan is about the story that's come out in the Scottish Daily Express after an FOI, where they found out nursery schools in Glasgow, and for those who don't live in Scotland, nurseries are for 2 to 5 year olds before they go into primary schools, we call it up here. And they've now got guidelines claiming kids can come out as transgender at any age. And they're teaching nursery school teachers how to deal with that. I genuinely, I read some things sometimes and I think, how did we get here? What is the world coming to? Even if you are a transgender child and you were born with gender dysphoria, I doubt when you're 2 you would actually have any thoughts on it whatsoever. But now we're teaching nursery school teachers how to deal with it when we have a transgender pupil between 2 and 5 year old that wants to come out. I can't believe I'm reading this. However, if you want to support the channel, you can become a member, you can subscribe, or just hit the thumbs up button below. Anyway, this story, alarm has been sounded after it was revealed that Scottish nurseries have adopted an SNP guideline which claim that children can come out as transgender at any age, and 9 of Glasgow City Council's preschools have obtained gender-friendly nursery status, which means staff have been trained on the harmful impacts of gender stereotyping. What does that actually mean? Does that actually mean calling a boy and a girl a girl? Is that what gender stereotyping is? Because there's so many new words coming about, and I'm too old for this, right? But I'm guessing gender stereotyping as in, what a cute wee boy you are, is a harmful thing now. It's got harmful. These people are trained, let me repeat that, on the harmful impacts of gender stereotyping, 2 to 5 year olds. It's the latest revelation about gender ideology being adopted in places of learning for children north of the border. The Scottish Government being urged to rethink policies following the CAS review. Most of the rules have been written by controversial charity LGBT Youth Scotland. I've already done some videos about them. They don't come across as nice people. Dr. Hilary Cass' report into gender care for children in England is currently being analysed by a work group set up by SNP ministers, with the results due to be published before Holyrood's summer recess. She recommended that kids who think they are transgender should be given holistic care and not just rushed into treatment. That seems like a common sense approach to me. Scottish Government guidelines call on staff to be affirming and ask for the child's new name, pronouns, when they say they identify as a member of the opposite sex. Oh my word. Now, so what that basically means is, I probably picked up, I have got an older sister, so when I was a kid, she'd have been, I'd have been 2, she'd have been about 7, right? I'm guessing I'd have probably picked up one of her dolls at one point, as much likely as she picked up one of my action men at another point, right? So if I picked that up, man, I'm a girl, and I've done that in a Scottish nursery today, the teachers have to ask me what my pronouns are. Are these people mental, or is it me, right? Because I can't actually process what I'm reading here and try to turn that into real life situations. Anyway, I digress. According to an FOI requested by the Daily Telegraph, sorry, I thought it was just Express that got it, Glasgow City Council admitted that its nurseries were signposted to this guidance. That means the council told them to go and get it. Activist groups such as LGBT Youth Scotland and Stonewall helped to write them, with the latter previously claiming that kids as young as 2 can recognise their trans identity. Did they? No. I would suggest that anybody who's got a 2-year-old on their lap telling the world, my wee baby is not going to be a boy anymore, he's going to be a girl, or vice versa, need looked at, right? I am quite sure there are people who are under 5 years of age who will become transgender later on in life. I am completely convinced that none of them, when they were 2 years of age, knew what trans was, never mind deciding they were one, right? This is nonsense. Scottish Tory Deputy Leader Megan Gallagher called on new guidance to be written up for nurseries which serve kids between 2 and 5. I am totally with you on that one, Megan Gallagher. She said parents will understandably be alarmed at the response from Glasgow City Council. What is important is that all trans people get the support they need. Preschool kids are far too young to understand complex issues about their gender when their minds and bodies are nowhere near fully developed. Parents want age-appropriate guidance to be provided to their children. Yep, I agree with that. And however good intentions are behind this, signposting is not suitable for toddlers. There is no good intentions behind this, Megan. You were doing right well up to that point, right? Who in their right mind can find any good intentions for putting a process in place to deal with a 2-year-old that's decided they're transgender? This has gone far enough. This stuff has to stop. The lunatics are running the asylum, and the sensible people ain't taking the keys back off them. The sensible people need to get their keys, and they need to get them pretty damn quick, because this is mental. Staff at gender-friendly nurseries. What? So does that mean, unless you're one of the 9, you're a non-gender friendly nursery? Wow. I'll start again. Staff at gender-friendly nurseries were told that gender was fluid, culture concept, and that gender associations of pink and blue were a relatively new thing. As pink was once a shade of military red and blue was seen as a colour for girls, as it was the colour of the Virgin Mary's clothes. These people are suddenly becoming Christians, eh? Scottish Government guidance also endorses social transition, meaning kids can change names, pronouns and physical appearance. The document says transgender young people may recognise and discuss their gender identity at any age. Before puberty, any transition or change is limited to socially changing their name, pronoun and gender expression. I am actually struggling here. I have never felt like stopping a video halfway through at my puff, but I do with this one. But I'm not going to. I'm going to fight it and try and get through. That's nonsense, right? In the FOI response, SNP-led Glasgow City Council said that in cases where a child is presenting as a different gender in nurseries, it asked that the wishes of family and child are supported wherever possible. Now, how do... Oh my word. How does a kid, say 2 to 4-year-old, present herself as a different gender? I'm not being funny, right? See if I worked in a nursery. Now I work with kids. I work with kids between 5 and 16. We have about 200 of them as a volunteer, right? So I have a lot of interaction with children and young adults, right? And I'm just trying to think, what would that have me thinking? That means presenting differently as a different gender. I've got wee girls turning up with Fitbit boots and Fitbit straps. I've never once for 1 minute thought, are they transgender? Right? If a wee boy turned up in a nursery that I worked at with pink on, I wouldn't give it a second thought. Likewise, any wee girl in blue. If a wee girl wanted to turn up with a Scotland Fitbit strap on, I wouldn't blink an eyelid, right? So what would a 2-year-old or a 4-year-old or a 3-year-old do to present as a different gender? What do these people think's happening out there in the real world? The local authority, sorry, a wee phone call come in there. The local authority also confirmed that preschools were signposted to the Scottish Government's publication supporting transgender young people in schools, Guidance for Scottish Schools. I'm nearly done, thankfully. A spokesman added, the most important part of this learning is about installing confidence in the rights for young people to expect equality and challenge discrimination of any kind. I agree with that. But what we are doing here is we are creating the issue. No, there isn't, and I'm willing to bet good money. We've not got any 2-year-olds in any Scottish nurseries, never mind diluting all the way down to these 9 in Glasgow, that walked into nursery this morning and went, excuse me, miss, I think I'm a girl. Could you call me Susan? And my pronouns are her, it, right? I'm kind of guessing that's not happened here, right? So there is no discrimination of transgender children in nurseries. So the problem doesn't exist. The problem you're trying to solve is not there. What you might be doing with your craziness is creating a problem. Staff in our schools and nurseries are supported in a variety of ways, and this includes signposting to national advice. But that does not detract from every situation being dealt with on a case-by-case basis. All our schools and nurseries value and respect the needs and rights of every child. I kind of agree with that. They probably do value and respect the needs and rights of every child. Because there isn't any walking in saying, miss, I think I'm in the wrong body here. I think I've got gender dysphoria. It isn't happening, and I would suggest if any kid did, it's the parents that would maybe have to have a look at here, right? I've genuinely never been so happy that a video's finished and my puff than this one. Because this is right up there. This is right up there with some of the maddest stuff I've ever stumbled across in my life. If you enjoyed the video, you probably didn't, but if you think it's worth other people seeing it, get the thumbs up. If you've not already done so, please consider subscribing. But other than that, unless you're these crackpots that think 2-year-olds need transgender safeguards, everybody else have a great day. Cheery bye now.